Hello Willowkins and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to share with you something that I kind of have talked about in some of my other videos, but this one relates more to like how you can change your mind, if that makes sense. And if you hear background noise, that is my guinea bears, as I call them. They're being really funny today, just running around and squeaking and like being happy. So the energy is good, and I wanted to share this with you. I have been reading quite a bit. Just, I like to try to get in books here and there, but I have gone through kind of like stages. Of course, mama books, I'm definitely reading those. It's nice to find books that I personally like and enjoy reading on. So with that being said, I am really enjoying this book that I'm about to show you. I think it is a wonderful book. If you are a first-time mama or like you're about to have a child, or you're pregnant, or you're thinking about becoming pregnant, or really any stage in becoming a mother, I would really recommend you read this book. It is so mind-altering. Okay, what book is it already? So let me get to that, okay? So this is the book right here, Hypnobirthing. Why do I want to share this book? Because one, it really is cool to me. Like, it talks about some of the history of birthing and just how we've done it, going back a lot of years. I mean, that part of it is really cool. And then also, it walks you through what are the typical fears of labor, because there is a lot surrounding that, unfortunately, because there's not a lot of positive birth stories out there, which I wish there were, because that is, what I think every woman who is about to give birth wants, I think it is definitely possible to have a better experience when you alter your mind, so your body can relax in that state of birthing, so that way it's a little bit more smoother and, it's not so constricting, which happens when we have fear. So the book is just amazing. It just goes over so many different things. There's one story in here that relates to a cat and how they give birth. Like the author is watching her cat give birth, and she's just giving birth, and she's not whining or anything. It's peaceful, quiet. She's just like, as soon as the kittens come out, she licks them and then tries to guide them to the breast so that way they can drink the breast milk. And then as soon as the dogs come out in the backyard of the neighbor's house, the cat tenses up, gets that fear, cuts off the labor, grabs her kitten she just birthed, and goes to a safer area so she can resume her birthing. It's crazy to me that, how people say the human experience is different, but really it doesn't have to be. It can be what that cat experienced. It's all about changing the way of the mind. rethinking of it in a more positive, gentle way. I wanted to kind of share with you the powerful laws of the mind, how we can recalibrate what we have learned to be more of a enjoyable experience. So the law of psychophysical response, the body follows the mind, in other words. So for an example, let's say you're riding your bike and you hit a bump and you scrub your knee on the ground. Now, you don't automatically say, ouch, tense up, or start to cry, or whatever, because it's not until the mind is like, oh, we're bleeding. Ouch, this kind of hurts. So what we can do is instead change that. Instead, we can be like, oh, okay, let me clean this up and, be on my way. Because when I was younger, I fell off my bike. I was trying to go over the railroad tracks and I had training wheels on and they frustrated me. Like, my dad just put them on and I was trying to get over the train tracks and I fell because one of the training wheels was stuck in the railroad track, like going across the sidewalk. And so I fell. I didn't cry. I was just upset that my training wheel got stuck in the railroad track, because that was the power of my mind at that point. Yes, I fell. I should be maybe crying because my knee is bleeding, or, whatever. My hand had a little bit of rocks in it. But I wasn't. I was mostly focused on why my training wheel got stuck in the railroad track. So I was trying to come up with a solution to get across the tracks easier. So I went right back to my dad and I told him to take the training wheels off. And then I started riding around and I was perfectly fine. It's one of those things that I'm sure you have one of these experiences in your life. So, yes, how the body is and how the mind reacts can be different, but it can also be the same if we let it. So if we picture it as a bad thing, our mind reacts in that, oh my gosh. But if we picture it in a more positive way, we're like, okay, all right, let's just take care of this and move on and we're okay. All right, so, and the next one, the law of repetition. Sometimes, when you hear something over and over and over again, it's going to take a while to unprogram that, right? Because if we're so used to being told one thing over and over and over again, we're used to it, So it's going to take a bit of time to reprogram how we think on things. So the law of repetition is important, and it can either bring positive outcome or negative outcome depending on how you use it. So repetition can really be like, repeating it over and over and over, or like in the mirror or to yourself, or writing it down over and over and over again, or visualizing it over and over and over again, or having some kind of like affirmations be played to you over and over and over again. These kinds of repetition things will help you reprogram. So whatever, and this goes with all aspects of your life, these laws here, if there's something in specific that you want, if you want to manifest that into your life, what you can do is seriously Have your body get excited, chills, goosebumps, make it feel good. The mind responds and is like, oh, okay, we're feeling really good. We're happy. We're excited. This is good. And then, the goosebumps really start to come in. Like, I'm not even joking. They are right now. And then when we visualize what we want, play it over in our mind, or we write it down, or whatever. And then we use these other laws, which will be, I'll show you. The next one is the power of language, which kind of correlates to repetition in some ways. And then I'll just tell you the next one so I can kind of go on with my thought process here. The law of motivation. What you want is what you get. Okay, so the power of language, I mean, as we all know, language is very important. The way that in which we say them, that is very powerful. So if we say clients or patients, or do we want parents? There's a difference, right? Because when we hear clients or patients, we automatically assume, oh, hospital setting. And sometimes that can be kind of scary. Not everybody likes being in a hospital or being surrounded by that atmosphere. There's a difference, right? When we're talked to as parents, that's a different kind of feeling, right? Because it's more calming, it's more gentle, it's more positive. So the power of language is definitely powerful. That's why affirmations are really good to listen to, because they hold such positive feelings within them that it has its own vibration, and it's releasing that to you, so that way you can feel those good energies. Because all words carry a certain vibration, right? And just like I got done saying, client, patient, those vibrations are like, low. But if we have parent or son, daughter, family member, all these like happy terms, that brings the vibration upward. Very important to realize how you're saying something, so that way it doesn't bring those bad energies to you. And then what you want is what you get. So obviously this kind of is more like the law of attraction and manifestation and stuff like that, which is kind of what I talk about in some of my videos. You have to be very careful on how you say something, because what you're putting out there is how you are going to get that in return. So if you're thinking like, oh, I can't afford that, you're gonna constantly put yourself in that rut of, being there, you're stuck. But if you start to think, I can afford that, I can pay for that. How you think of things can really play a huge role in what you manifest or what you get in return. And I just found it to be really cool that kind of stuff showed up in this book, because it was like, oh wow, yeah, I know that this goes with every aspect of our lives, right? But then it's like, yeah, every aspect. We can imagine, visualize in repetition of what we want, and we can achieve that. It's all having to deal with the power of the mind, the vibrations that we bring with the words that we use. It's cool to me. That's all I really wanted to kind of talk about. If you like these kind of like me talking about books and stuff, I can do more of these. I have another book that I really enjoy. It's called The Nature Fix, and that one's really cool. Like I said, in the beginning of my video, I've been jumping around doing different topics and stuff, and doing, the mama books and stuff, and it's just been really nice to kind of dabble in this and get some reading done. And I also have some kids books that are really cool. I like reading them because they're so interesting. 1,000 plus science facts, and it's like a book this thick, but it's like, it has images and facts, and I have a junior atlas, which is really cool. It takes you all around the world. Yeah, so really cool stuff. I look at it just because it's cool. Okay, I'm just going to admit it. It's cool. And they're fun and entertaining because it's not like you're reading, a dictionary where it's kind of boring. There's no pictures and, it's just words, which, is fine. But I like having it be colorful and engaging and visually appealing to the eye, so I get more engaged with, what is going on. And so I find them cool. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that I see you back here for another video coming up. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe and that notification bell if you haven't already, and that like button. All right, see you next time.